Hello, besties and blanketeers. Happy Friday. I didn't even know how to start. I'm Betty McKnit, and today, like every day, we're working on the 6-day kit blanket. So today we've been swatching, right? We've been swatching for the 6-day challenge coming up the last week in January. And so let's see, I have my swatches here. The first day we did the regular Hi Linda vivid chevrons. That's the original pattern. And then, of course, next had to be the snowflake effect. Everyone's favorite, right? Everyone loves the snowflake effect. Except me. I like vivid chevrons. And then today, we're going to... Hey, Alba. We're going to do the... what we call in the group the half snowflake effect. So it's a half a snowflake because you get the little bit of texture on the bottom, but not the top. So it doesn't have quite as much texture as the snowflake effect that has, really pops these textured stitches and gives you a more lacy look. The half snowflake effect is, I think, popular because you change colors where the pattern repeats change. So it's just less complicated, And there are several viral photos of the 6-day kit blanket out there, and this is what they are usually. They're of the half snowflake effect. Okay, so this is a very popular effect. However, there's a problem with it. Okay, if you are going to change colors along with the pattern repeat, you end up at the top ending your blanket on row 7, which is really supposed to end on row 4. And I don't have one. The reason for that is because the double crochet stitches go like that, and then the decreases of the granny rows bring it back in. Lots of people have made this blanket with that, and they don't have any problem with it. They don't see any issue. They're fine ending their blanket on row 7 instead of row 4. Okay. But if you want to end on row 4, what happens is you end up with half a stripe. So that's where people get like, they'll start their half snowflake effect, and then they'll get about 2/3 the way done, and they'll go, I'm gonna have a half a stripe at the end. What do I do? So you have to plan ahead for this, and this I'll show you what I do, because you can see my bottom and my top pretty much match. This is a little bit bigger, but they match. It's balanced. And then these are my stripes in between. So I will explain to you what I did, and then I'm going to do it for you without the squaring off. I think that my way... Hey, Katie. Katie always says hi 3 times, so we know that's Katie, even though it says Facebook user. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about squaring off. I think this works best. This looks best if you square off. That's why this swatch is from the 6-day baby blanket pattern. So that's why I squared this one off. And I also wanted to put that cool half double crochet edge in the camel stitch edge on it, where you see in the pictures it looks like she's doing 4 rows at a time, but she's really not. And someday I'll do a video about that, how she did it. But if you want to make that cool, I just thought for me that edge would look better squared off on a squared off blanket. And I also wanted to even out those stripes at the top and bottom. So this works best if you square off or start square. When I wrote the baby blanket pattern, I didn't have this straight start, right? I didn't know how to do that yet. So you can even see on this one it's squared off after the fact. But I mean, that's totally cool. You can square off after the fact. It's no big deal. But now we know how to start with a straight start. So if you want to start straight, you start with whatever color you have to plan with whatever color you're gonna do your edge. You start with that, and you go through the squared off rows, and then you begin row 2 with your new color. And you change colors at every row 2, and then when you get to the top, you change back to your edge color, and you do row 2, skip row 3, and then do row 4. That way you can end on row 4, and then you can square off and then start your edge and do your edge in those same colors. That's how you adjust the half snowflake effect to have the same size stripe on top and bottom. Well, that's how I do it. All right, so I'm going to make a swatch, but I'm going to show you what it would look like if we weren't squaring off. How's that sound? I have to write all this down for y'all and put it on the website. Okay, these are my least favorite arm compression because they're so tight, and I cut holes in them because I thought that would make it better for my thumb. But look at that. Oh, it hurts so much. I'm doing great. I took a shower and everything. Okay, let's start this swatch, half snowflake effect swatch. Is anybody planning on making the half snowflake effect for the challenge? Next week I will do confetti, Aussie confetti, and popsicle. I'll do those next week. Am I forgetting anything? I could do Aussie confetti both ways. There's 2 ways to do it. Okay, so here we go. Oh, someone was asking me in private messages today about, this is 37, okay? The swatch, if you're starting regular, 37 stitches, okay? If I'm squaring off, I'm starting square. Okay, I'm starting with this bottom row. I start with 30. And then what happens is, see, here are increases, and then you build up the stitches. So that's how it can be 30 when it's straight, and then 37 when it's up and down, okay? So when you're making your swatch, if you're starting square, the formula is, I think it's 13 plus 4, and if you're not starting square, it's 17 plus 3. The popsicle effect, we made it in a hat. It was thought up by Gina Robertson, and she pops in and out of the group. but someone just commented on her popsicle effect blanket not too long ago, so it did come up in the discussion thread. The hi Facebook user, I'm going to answer this question. I'm gonna take this out before I start counting, because y'all know how how I get. Even if I count it, it still comes out wrong. Okay, I see that this is called the half snowflake effect, and I've seen talk of a snowflake effect. They're not the same. And I did say it at the beginning of the video. This is snowflake. Okay, you have the granny rows kind of highlighted on the top and bottom, and for half snowflake, it's just the bottom, and then the top is the top, it changes on row 7. So for half snowflake, you change between row 7 and 2, and for snowflake you change between row 2 and 3. And we call it half because you get texture on one side and not the other. Half snowflake is the easiest, I think, to do because the color changes on the repeat. Okay, so we're talking about how to plan your half snowflake effect blanket so that the top, you have a top and bottom stripe that match. So you would want to start your blanket with the color that you're planning on using on the edge on the first round of the border. Okay, so here I go. I gotta count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Woo! Okay. And then, by the way, I use streaming software to stream into all these different places at once. So if you're on Facebook, say who you are, because it just says Facebook user. I think those are people watching in the group. And then other places I can see your name. Like I can see Stacy's name, but some people on Facebook I can't see your name. So starting in the second chain from the hook, we single crochet across. Okay, so this is row 1, and we only have one row 1 on the entire blanket. After at the end, row 7 is your new row 1. So the blanket has a 6-row repeat. Hi Irma. Hi Robin. Today is the last day for the winter crochet pattern bundle. If you wanted my pocket shawls, the 6-day pocket shawl and the 6-day sideways pocket shawl, I sell both together for $8 on my site. You can get the whole bundle for $19. Today is the last day. She said she is not, it's gone after midnight tonight. Yeah, say hi if you're here. Hi. Okay, so this is an important step that a lot of people miss on the half snowflake, on their half snowflake effect blankets, and this is one way you end up with stripes of different sizes. After row 1, which is equivalent to your row 7, so how do you, hi Harriet, hi Kelly in South Africa. Wow, we have people from everywhere tonight. So to make the half snowflake effect, you change between 7 and 2. So this is row 1, but on your repeat it's row 7. So we have to change color right here for this to work, okay? So I'm going to change to whatever my first stripe is. And then however many stripes you're going to do, you want to plan it so that it goes, you know, yellow, orange, blue, yellow, orange, blue, yellow, orange, blue, yellow is going to be your last couple of rows, okay? So you have to kind of plan it out. South Australia. Wow, we have South Africa and South Australia. Wow. We got Aussies in the house tonight. It's already Saturday for you guys. You're already on the weekend, right? It's still Friday night here. Okay, so here's how I change colors. I pull the new color through the last 2 loops of the last stitch of the previous row where I want the new color. Then I take my, oh my goodness, my hands today. See, these affect my hands. My hand coordination. So I take the 2 ends, these are my 2 tails, okay, and I flip them up over my new working yarn and I hold that to the back, and then I start my chain, and that locks those tails in place so they're not floating around and causing a problem. And then the pattern says to chain 3 to turn, but I chain 4 because my edges curl. 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 3 double crochet in the next stitch. So I did 3 different swatches this week, so you all can be swatching and getting ready for the challenge. Next week I'll swatch the other 2 effects, and I'll talk a little bit about yardage, and we'll plan like do the next step of your of your plan. My yarn fell on the floor. Okay, skip 2, 3, 3, 3 in the top of the mountain. Having brekkie. Man, I love Australians. I want to come visit y'all. Once we can travel again. Can't wait. Okay, and then skip 2. Whoops. I might have to take these sleeves off. And now you're going to skip 2, DC 3 together, all in one stitch. 1, 2, 3, so you complete the first half of a double crochet 3 times, and then you pull through all 4 loops. Okay, now you have to skip 4. Skip 4 means you skip over the you skip over 4 stitches and you stitch into the 5th one from where you are. It doesn't mean you work into the 4th one. It means skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work into the 5th one. Okay, hang on. My phone just picked up my earbuds. Can y'all hear me okay? To turn my Bluetooth off. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, and we have a question, and the question is, why don't you crochet over the ends? From Kathy. Why don't you crochet over the ends when you change color? Well, for one thing, I have skips right here, so there's nothing to crochet over. And the other reason is because I found out the hard way that that comes undone. I mean, I had an entire project where I crocheted over the ends because I read that you could just crochet over your ends to secure them. And when I washed it, it all came out. It all came undone. I had a big ball of yarn all that time. So I know we all love a good shortcut, and nobody hates weaving in ends more than I do. I mean, really, I would be surprised if anyone hated it more than me. But and people give me suggestions all the time. I've tried a lot of different ways, and just for me, I have found that it's just not worth saving time. What works best for me and for my work is to just good old-fashioned weave in the ends. So on the side of this blanket, what I'll do is I'll do the edge row first, and I'll send that thread that way, and I'll send that thread that way, and I'll work over them for like 1 or 2 stitches, probably just 1, and leave it hanging out, and then I'll go back and I'll weave it into the edge, or I'll weave it back up into this part where it matches, so that way it doesn't show. Thank you. This is I did not tie it together. I'll show you again when I change colors again, how I flip the ends up over the working yarn before I start my chain, my turning chain, and it just locks them in place. I mean, you can't say never. I don't never tie a knot, but I save knots for emergencies. If I can avoid it, I will not tie a knot. And there is no way I am tying any kind of knot and then trimming the ends right next to the knot. And I know I've heard so many people say I've never had one come undone. All it takes would be one coming undone. I guess because I had that really bad experience with my ends coming out, and I have blankets here from my mom, and that my mom has made, and blankets that I have made that have been through the wash multiple times, and sometimes you'll get a little tail peeking out, and I just trim them off. But I've never had anything come apart when I've, just woven in the tails. When I run out of a ball and I add a new ball of yarn, I do it the same way. I pull the new thread through the old thread and tuck the tails up over and keep going, and then I weave it in. I'll weave one tail one way and one tail the other way. Yes, you thread it back in. That's really brave to admit, Annie. Yeah, I'll if you're still here on the end of the call, I'll show you what I do. I'll weave in this one on the bottom and show you how I do it. Okay. Row 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. The pattern says chain 3. I have to chain 4 because my edges curl. You should do a swatch with the pattern as written first and see what happens for you, and then try one of my many tips and tricks to deal with curling edges. One of them is to chain 4 instead of 3. I also have been... Somebody's saying they can't hear me now? What happened? Did I cut out? Am I too low? Let me move this. Did I freeze? I think maybe the feed froze. Oh goodness. Okay, tap on the video. Yeah. You might want to check your device, my dear, because other people are saying they can hear me. Okay. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Michigan. Wow, people from all over. Oh, Florida. I love Florida. There you go. Okay. Do you need to do something special for what? Tap on the video. Check on your device. Check to make sure you don't have your device silenced. Usually I go through and say everything I'm doing, but I'm not doing that this time. Somebody said they liked my hook. This is a Furls Odyssey. Maybe if one of the mods is watching, you can drop my affiliate link in the comments. It's www.tinyurl.com/Betty's Furls. The Odyssey is my favorite hook. I only do affiliate stuff for things that I, feel products that I like and companies that I feel good about. Hi, Millie. I think they're worth the money, but I crochet every day, and I crochet for my business, for my livelihood. Yeah, somebody could type that in the comments for me. I'm actually on I'm on a streaming software, so I'd have to put my work down and go click around, and then who knows how distracted I would get. But someone could type it in. Thank you. Alright, so now I'm on row 4. Chain 1. It's the single crochet row. common error on this row is to forget to skip the second stitch and the second to last stitch of the row. Hi, Melbourne. And then I'll put it, I might have put the furls link into the description of the video. I don't remember. I put a bunch of links in there. Hi, Faye. Wow, we have so many people on tonight. So good to see everyone. It's Friday night. I took a shower and did my hair and got all dressed up to go live on Facebook. Crochet. Thank you, Heather. That was Heather. What kind of yarn is everyone planning to use for the challenge? By the way, if you want to use these nurturing fibers and do one of my baby blankets, they have kits at Good Loops for these blankets. This yarn that I'm using is left over from the baby blanket pattern when I made that up. And I don't have the whole blanket to show you because I gave it to somebody. Oh yeah, and then you do 3 single crochet in the chain 3 space. I'm not doing a very good swatch along tonight, am I? Okay, and then the last stitch of the row, I work from the back to the front, and that is to alleviate curling on the edges again. Okay, and then I chain 4 to turn, even though the pattern says chain 3. Okay, so double crochet, this is row 5, you skip 2, counting this one. 1, 2, and then you start on that third single crochet. So double crochet rows, you skip 2 at the beginning of the row. 3 granny cluster row, we call those the granny rows. These two, row 2 and 3, we call them the granny rows. You skip 3 single crochet, you skip 1 single, 1 double, 2 granny, 3. Yes, I did 2 other swatch alongs this week. Okay, let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochet going up to the mountain. You know you're right if you land in the center, single crochet in the row below. So 3 and 1 in the top of the mountain. Yes, I did 2 other swatch alongs this week. They're both on my YouTube channel. They're also in the 6-Day Kid Blanket Challenge event. They are in the 6-Day Kid Blanket group. I believe they're on my Facebook page. You have lots of different places you can find the different ones I did this week. I did the original Vivid Chevron stripe, the defined stripes, we call it. And I did, 2 days ago, I did the snowflake effect. And today I'm doing the half snowflake effect. So I'm not a big counter because I like to watch a movie while I'm crocheting. And I just learned, I just enjoy my crochet more when I don't have to count, when I can memorize it. And I mean, let's face it, I'm Betty McKnit. I can do the 6-Day Kid Blanket practically in my sleep at this point. So this is what I do. I have this little cheat where I know on every single 6-Day Kid Blanket, even the star blankets, when you come down from the mountain into the valley, the last double crochet always lands right between these last 2 stitches of this granny cluster. Okay? Yes, I'll be doing the confetti effect next week and the popsicle effect. next week. Or maybe over the week. I might do one over the weekend. I can't go live every day. Well, I guess during the challenge I will, but I might have to like not be on overhead every time because of my legs. I have lipedema and I had surgery last year to remove it, and for whatever reason, sitting in a chair like this with my legs down, it makes my legs swell. So I got a new chair where it's one of those you're kind of half kneeling on, and it's not as bad, but it's still I have to take good care of my body. So that's why I like doing these tutorials live with you all, so I can engage, and I don't really want to like sit here at this desk a lot and be editing and all that kind of thing. This is more fun. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then 3 double crochet in the center, single crochet at the top of the mountain, oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I did see that question. Is there a specific weight of yarn that you like to use? I like I actually really love doing a chunky throw. You can do one on, I think it's 121 with chunky yarn and like a 8mm, 10mm hook. I can fly through that. I like that. I'm kind of a creature of habit. I like to do the lazy mix, which is a worsted weight yarn, and I always mix it the same way with the same rows. I do Vivid Chevron, that's my favorite, and I use one cake yarn. I use 2 different cake yarns, and I do rows 5 and 6 with one of them and the rest of the rows with the other. And that's called Betty's Lazy Mix, because I'm lazy, because I can just get it out and start it. I don't have to it's the same thing every time. And then I like doing the chunky 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's 8 going down. So the sides of the rows are different than the I always work this last one from back to front. Okay, let me get in that stitch the way it's tight. See, this is why my edges curl. Come on now. This is like giving birth. I have a lot of stash, so I like to burn through my stash. This is another thing. Okay, I'm making a mess out of this, but this is another thing I do on my edges, and I haven't added this to the pattern yet, is on the last stitch of the row, I do, on the last double crochet of the row, I do an extended double crochet. So to do that, you pull through 1 loop first, and then you pull through 2, and then you pull through 2. I do that just because my edges curl. You don't have to. Do your swatch the way the pattern's written and see if your edges curl, and if they do, you can do what I do and add a little bit more length on the sides. Okay, double crochet row, skip 2. This row is the same. You don't have to go in through the back of the stitch if you don't want to. I do it because it keeps my edges flatter, gives me flat edges, but you don't have to. Try it first the regular way and see. This row is the same, 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I knew that was wrong. I did too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Yeah, it still curls. Okay, so here's another thing that you can do. I chained 4. You can do an extended double crochet. So I had to go back to this stitch because I made a mistake. Extended double crochet. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and just makes a little longer double crochet. Skip 2. And then when you do your edge, when you work your edge around, and if you work into the sides into the stitches the way I do, or if you work into the spaces, you can make adjustments, and you don't have to go into every single stitch. You can skip if your edges are really long, and make them lay flat. I'll show you my swatch in a minute, what I'm talking about. My the other one I had out here. 1, 2, 3, and then 7 going down. I have one blanket that the edges curl really badly, even though I just put a row of single crochet down each side, but the edge will help. But these are some things that you can do, and there are some people, their edges don't curl. I don't know what they're doing differently, but their edges don't curl. Mine curl like crazy. And someone in the group came up with that idea of working from back to front, and now I just do it automatically. Who's saying I'm lazy too? Who said that? Oh, thank you. Let me count because I did it wrong last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 double crochet, and now I got to go from back to front into the chain. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Whoop. And then extended double crochet. That's how I end the row, the double crochet row. Yeah, some people don't. Okay, this is a swatch along. We're doing the half snowflake effect. So this is, well, let me just do row 4 and then I'll say what I was about to say. Row 4, single crochet row, chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, skip 1. Don't forget to skip 1. And then you just single crochet straight across the row. Until you get to the last 2 stitches, and then you skip 1 and single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, here we go. So we've done rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, do you see what's happening here? This is like this, and then the top is going like that. Have you ever run into an issue with the same brand of yarn, different colors, one skein is thicker than the other? Yes. Different colors of yarn because of the dyeing, and I have no idea how or why this works, but different colors of the same brand of yarn will sometimes have a slightly different gauge. You can change your hook size on one of the colors. Maybe the one with this that feels a little smaller, go down a half a size of hook. Okay, so see how my blanket's going out, like my edges are going out. So this is why I don't like to end on row 7. Also, if you want to square off, I'm not sure that the square off works on the double crochet rows. So this is a problem with half double crochet or half snowflake effect, because these are your stripes, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and stop, but the blanket technically ends on row 4. So and I know a lot of people just go ahead and end on row 7 and their blankets turn out fine, and maybe their tension is different than mine and that works out okay, but I know that it would never work for me because look at that. That is like right? I need another row of granny stitches to bring this back in like that, okay? I, for my work, need that. So I'm going to change back to my edge color, pretending I'm at the end of my blanket. Changing back to whatever this color was. And I'm also going to use that as the first row of my edge. And then I take my, who asked me about changing colors? I take these two ends, my two tails, and I flip them up over my working yarn. This is my working yarn. And I pull it tight, hold it to the back. Well, I don't want to say pull it tight because I know how tight y'all will think I pulled it. It's not that tight. I'm just pulling it so that it's not gonna like make a hole or be loose or anything like that. And then I'm going to chain 3 or 4 because I'm gonna do another row 2. Okay, and then see, these guys are here, they're secure, they're not going anywhere, they're good for now. I mean, they're not good permanently, but they're good while I finish the blanket, right? Okay, so it's row 2, so I skip 3. Double crochet. Skip 2, 3 double crochet. Skip 2, 3, 3, 3 in the top. Going down the side, skip 2, 3 double crochet, skip 2, DC 3 together, all 3 go into 1 stitch, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work into the 5th. I know it feels like you're just like jumping over the biggest of spaces. And if you get a little bit of rippling there, it's okay. Every knitted or crochet item stretches with use and washing. So if you end up with a really rippled finished blanket, wash it and lay it flat and stretch it out a little bit. I know some people will work their blankets a little bit tighter so that they'll, they won't, they'll stretch out and have they won't stretch too much, right? Skip 2, going down the side. Two more. And the last stitch of the row, I'm going from back to front because of my curling problem. I'm doing an extended double crochet because of my curling. Okay. So that brought my sides back in. Do you see how I personally needed those decreases to bring my swatch back in, bring my work, the sides of my work back in. Okay, so that's the purpose of doing this one again, to bring that splay back in to shape. Hi, Fran. Okay, and so if this is the top of my blanket, it's now I'm gonna skip row 3 and I'm gonna do row 4, which is the single crochet row. This is in the baby blanket pattern, by the way. The 6-day baby blanket. Thank you. It's left over from the baby blanket. The nurturing fibers. I used colors that were considered neutral. I know all colors are neutral, but these are like oranges and blues, and this aventurine. This was my favorite, the aventurine. This isn't all of the colors in that blanket, but it's some of them. This aventurine turquoise, and then that lighter blue, and then this is the sun-kissed coral. I love peachy colors. Uh-oh, I set my work down. I lost track. I did that the other day on the live. I must have I don't even know what happened. But I think I lost a stitch because the hook came out. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to talk. Okay. It's Nurturing Fibers Eco Cotton from Good Loops. They have kits for my baby blanket patterns. I've seen the Snowflake. Oh, of course. These are all striping effects that blanketeers have come up with. Yeah, and then people say, "How do they do it?" And I had to figure it out, and so that I could show other people. I'm thinking bolder colors look better for the snowflake effect. Well, I've seen really beautiful snowflake effect blankets, and some of them are just like really white, like light, really light, like baby blue, soft blue, and white. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen too many ugly 6-day kid blankets, honestly. I think the bold colors in the snowflake effect look great, and really soft colors look great too. Okay, so now you can see that this top and bottom, this is a little bit bigger than this, but I think it would be less noticeable than continuing in this color. And what really would make it less noticeable is if you square it off, which I did here on this one. So I squared off. You can see it's a little bit wider here at the top than at the bottom. That might really bother some people, but I think it's a good solution to bringing the display in and then also having your color stripe match. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you before. Do you see what happened here? I did too many single crochet going up the side of this swatch, and part of the reason is because I chain extra stitches, and then I have to account for that when I'm doing my edge. So when people say, well, how many should I put into, should I do 2 single crochet into each double crochet and 1 into each single crochet, that's gonna vary depending on your tension. So this is a place, I mean, you all can see how that's going like this. I needed to, especially this corner is like, what is it doing? It's like totally crooked, right? So this is where I should have laid it down and admired it a little bit more, because I have too many stitches here. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about, doing the edge. So if this were my blanket, I'm gonna do my edge in this same color, so that's gonna make it look a little more even. And I'll go down one side so you all can see what I do. Let me zoom in. Okay, I work into the stitch. Let me see, where do I want to go? I go under 2 threads of the chain. Actually, let me see. Let me go back. Let me start over. Oh, I chained 1. That's why that's not looking right. Okay. Okay, so this last stitch of my row 4 is going to be my corner. So I'm going to single crochet 2 more into there and make a corner, and I'm going to just keep going around. I prefer to go in a spiral than do a slip stitch and chain up. I need to go into this one right here to make a nice transition. Oh my goodness, my hands are so awkward right now. Of course, I want to go into the tightest stitch in the universe. Okay, there's my turning chain. I'm treating it like a foundation chain. I'm going under 2 and I'm leaving 1 below, and it takes forever, just like working into a chain. Everybody's favorite thing, right? Working into the chain. So here's my tail. I'm actually going to work over that for 1 stitch. Oh my goodness, that is so loose. Let me fix that. Alright, and then here's my other tail. I'm going to take it this way and I'm going to work over it for 1 stitch. And it's not like knitting where there's a formula, 2 into every 3 or anything like that. It doesn't work out that way, because some of us are chaining 3, some of us are only chaining, oh, I didn't catch it. Some of us are chaining 4, some of us are chaining 3. So I can't really give you an exact do this many. You have to use your judgment. You have to make it straight. You know, you have to keep laying it down and looking at it and checking it. Okay, I worked over that tail for 2 stitches. This is the hard part. Okay, and now I'm going to pull it out. And I'm not going to work over it anymore. And the reason I don't work over it is because it comes undone, number one. And also, sometimes you can see it, and I don't want to see it. But do you see how working into the stitch, how it gives me like this nice straight line and this little like outline? I love that part on the underside. And I'll just show you what it would look like if I worked into the space. And I know lots of people work into the space, and that's fine. If you want to work into the space, you can. Okay, I did that one into the space. And now, okay. Okay, that's working into the stitch. It's working into the space. To me, this is more even. And I like that little blast of that little line of color underneath. You might not want it, but I like it. Okay, let me keep it awkward. This takes forever, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Some things, you know, we all love a good shortcut, but sometimes it's worth it to just take your time, do it right, put a little extra time, effort, and attention on it, and make it really, you know, get those details. Let's see. I work under 2 threads and I leave 1 on the bottom. Okay, and here I have where I've changed colors again. I'm going to work over them for like 1 stitch in each direction. There we go. You see that? I worked over that one going that way. And now this one, I'm going to work over it going the other way. I want to go under 2 threads, make sure I'm going under 2 and not 1. I feel like I only went under 1. Whoops. Hang on, let me fix this. Yep, I only went under 1. Come on, Betty. You can do it. There we go. Okay. And now I'm back at the beginning, so I would probably do three stitches in this corner and then start working around the bottom or whatever I was going to be doing with my bottom. See, even this one that I was so carefully doing on a live and trying to do it right, even it goes like that a little bit. Well, I have these right there. That's where I worked into the space, and the rest of it I worked into the stitches. So let me just end this. And then if I wanted to weave these guys in, now I could do that. Do I have a needle here? Yes. Well, this is a really big needle for this yarn. It's too big. But I'll do it anyways. I think the blankets take 9 or 12 maybe. 12 balls. I believe the price of them is about $60. The girl blanket might be a little bit more because we use the bamboo for that. Okay. So I have this whole matching edge where I can weave it in. And then you want to change directions at some point. That one's really short. Let me try it on one of these brown ones. Okay. And this needle is too big to be doing. I need a smaller needle. Okay, so I'm going to go under these. And then I'm going to go up into here. And then what I do is I follow a thread. Follow a thread up under these. See how my yarn changed directions? I don't know if you all can even see what I did, but I went down there, I went over, and then I changed directions. So changing directions is important. And now I'm going to clip it close. And you can't see anything. You have no idea where that yarn end started and stopped. There's no knot. There's no nothing. There's no evidence of it even having an end. That's you know, like just a little special attention to detail, in my opinion. There's no evidence of it. Let me do this one. I need a smaller needle. Okay, I'm going to go under these single, and I usually weave in on the wrong side too. And if I had another row of edge, I might go up into the edge with this end. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this row here. And down into this double crochet stitch. And down under these 3 stitches. I try not to split the yarn, but people say if you split the yarn, it stays in better. I think it was 12 of the nurturing fibers. Okay, can't see it. It's totally invisible. Okay. Now it looks like that because I only did one side. That is the half snowflake effect swatch with a little bit of pointers about how to match the top and bottom. I would square it off. I do not do Russian knot. I don't do knots. I just want to put my hand over this corner. Now that I've pointed it out to you all, it seems so obvious. This is the baby boy one, but yeah, this is it with it squared off on the top, and you can see where I did it. Row 2 and then 4 and then squared off, right? And then work the edge in the same color. And it's a little bit off, but I think it's a good fix for this particular striping effect. I treat new joins like the ends. Like if you were on the video earlier, I showed how I pull the new thread through the last 2 loops of the previous stitch before I run a change, and then I take the 2 tails and I flip them over the working yarn, and then I work my next you know, pull through of my next stitch, whether it's a chain or whatever it is. And that kind of locks those ends in place. And then I go back later and I weave it in, and I'll take one end in one direction and one in the other direction. And I'll weave them out and then either up into another direction, and you want to make sure you change directions. That will keep it from coming out. But I avoid tying knots no matter what. I avoid knots completely. Okay, across the board. Okay, happy Friday, everyone. Do y'all have any more questions? So many people on the live tonight. This was so fun. Don't forget to, woo, that is really zoomed in. Don't forget that today is the last day to get your winter crochet pattern bundle with my 2 pocket shawls in it. You can go to my Facebook page and click the link there. If you are gonna buy it, yeah, you're gonna weave your ends now. Awesome. You know, try to buy it through my affiliate link so that I get commission on the sale, and that is one easy way that you can support me, is by purchasing things through my affiliate links. It doesn't cost you any extra money to use an affiliate link, and I get a little bit of commission on the sale. Jenny says don't. What are you talking about? I remember reading anything about. Yeah. You're so welcome. I'll see y'all in a couple of days. Maybe over the weekend I might go live and I'll do 2 more swatch-alongs. I'll do the confetti effect and the popsicle effect for you. And that way you'll have plenty of time to still swatch those 2 striping methods and make some decisions about your blanket for the challenge if you're starting a new one. All right, thank you so much. And if you're watching me on YouTube or wherever you're watching me, make sure you subscribe or like my page and click the bell for notifications so you know whenever I'm going live. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful Friday.